Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy.
All done, Sue?
Yep, and not just with your hair. With the help of Xero accounting software, I've sorted my numbers too. So now I can take my business anywhere.
That's it.
Where to next?
Wherever we want.
6-0, what's the next?
Feel it all with Shell V-Power, the only fuel used, trusted and recommended by Scuderia Ferrari HP.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy. The following programme is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language and flashing imagery.
Welcome to Bournemouth. It is the final press conference for Garner v Bellotti, live from Bournemouth this Saturday night on DAZN, and I'm joined by Mr. Ben Fale. Obviously your twin is on the card, and we'll come on to Carl in a second, but yeah, we were just saying there before we start the stream, when you look at the card, it's a really good card. Obviously the main event is a banger. Ryan Garner's got world title ambitions. Yep. Reece Bellotti's been there. He's actually on a good streak like Ryan, and it's Queensbury v Matchroom, which just adds the cherry to the cake. And then you've got Alois Jr. in with Ellis Zorro, which is a really good cruiserweight clash. Roy Jones's boy Tony Lighton Jr. is going to make his Queensbury debut. So yeah, overall this should be a really good night here on Saturday in Bournemouth. You looking forward to it? I'm looking forward to every fight. Like you said, they're all good fights. The headliner is going to be a real banger. It's a good clash of styles. I think Bellotti's going to bring it to Ryan, and Ryan's going to bring it to Bellotti. So we're going to see a good clash of styles there. Same with Zorro and Alois. What a fight! I'm looking forward to see how that one works out. I know obviously Zorro being out of our team. Yep. I've seen him training. He's looking sharp. He's looking ready. So that's another good fight. Obviously, my twin brother fighting, picking up his first title. He's boxing for the Midland title against Amir Akbar, a lad that's local to us from Coventry. So yeah, these are all brilliant fights for the show, man. And like you said, the undercard, you've got Roy Jones Jr.'s boy Tony, Taylor Bevan. Bevan, really good fighter. He's on there. So yeah, brilliant card. Yeah, look, let's just touch upon Ellis Zorro there, because you know him so well, obviously, out the Peacock Gym. Alois Jr. does go into this as a big favourite. Tell me why Ellis Zorro just might shock a few people on Saturday night. Because of his boxing, he's in my opinion, one of the best defensively and offensive boxers. When you see him, the way he moves and his defence work, he's a great fighter and boxer. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. With obviously Alois being very explosive, comes wide with his shots, Johnny very powerful. So yeah, it's a good clash of styles. You must have been impressed though with Alois. I know he's in the opposite corner to you guys. Yeah, I like Alois. Alois again, we come up on the circuit with Alois being at all the York Hall shows, and him headlining a couple of us being on the undercard. So look, Alois is a good fighter, very good, and he's showing how good he is his last few fights. He can punch like hell now. Of course, he punches like a horse, doesn't he? So yeah, well look, it's like we said, it's a great fight, and I'm looking forward to it. Look, Ellis Zorro, in terms of experience, has been there. You know, win or lose, he has been in with those big names. So I know Alois is obviously coming off a really good win in Scotland over David Jameson, but this is another step up. I know that the fight with Opataya didn't last long, but he's still been in a camp for someone like Jai Opataya, a pound for pound fighter. He's been in the ring with him. It's the experience you take from them as well. Sometimes it's not just the fight. The fight's it's one day. It's the whole build up. It's the build up, the camp, the pressure, the press conferences, feeling the pressure before the fight, and you know, all these things that Ellis has experienced and he's going to take from these fights leads to nights like this, and sometimes paying off. And look, Ellis is my boy. I want him to do it, and it's a great fight. Well, listen, let's see if Ellis Zorro can hold back Alois Jr., who's on a great run, has got massive hype around him going into this Saturday. That's a brilliant domestic clash, and then of course the top of the bill. It's a bit of a crossroads fight here, because very different stages of their career, but as I said, Reece Bellotti is having a bit of an Indian summer. He's had some tremendous wins since his last defeat to Ray Ford. He's an exceptional fighter. He's put, I think, 6 or 7 really good wins together, notably the one over Gomez last time. But Ryan, you know, he's been in there with Jimenez last time. That was a good win. Liam Dillon, a fantastic win. And Reece Bellotti, as I said, is a hard-punching, experienced guy. And if Ryan Garner can do a job on him, I know Frank's talking about taking him to St Mary's, doing a world title fight for Ryan, so there's a lot on the line this Saturday. Well, it's a well-deserved one, isn't it? Because like you said, you named some really good fights both of them have had there. It's a real good fight. Ryan Garner, obviously, who do you think the favourite for this is? Ryan Garner's the favourite. Ryan's favourite, yeah. So you've got Ryan Garner coming in as the favourite, but Bellotti, with all the experience fighting the Ray Fords and his last few wins, you know, it makes a great fight. For sure. And as I said at the start of the programme here, it is Queensbury v Matchroom. Obviously Queensbury have got quite a good record thus far, but Eddie and Reece will be looking for a big win over one of Frank's main guys, and Ryan. Yeah, of course, you know, we've seen how Queensbury do against Matchroom, so we're going to see Saturday night how they carry on. Yeah, it's not bad so far, but the story can change, and this is a competitive fight. Let's quickly touch upon your twin brother, of course, as well. I said you know all about Ellis Zorro. You've known this guy since birth, literally. So how talented is he?
Look, Carl, obviously, in my biased opinion, is one of the most talented, if not the most talented super welterweight out there.
If he dresses like he can fight, he's fine.
You know,
he's
got
not on camera at the
for me,
moment.
innit? You know, got but no, look, boxing-wise, he is really the most talented boxer out there. People forget, you know, that he's just had a 2 years layoff because of injuries and whatnot. But he's been in the gym, he's been active, he's still been training, he's been around me. You know, so it's not like he's been out the gym messing around. But he's been in the gym and. Look, he was at one time one of the best amateurs in the country. You know, he's top 10 ranked in the world. He boxed the #1 Kazakh in the world as well, getting an Olympic silver medal. He's done it all. You know, WSB 5 rounds of him. He's boxed everyone 2 European silver medals. He really has done it all. So these are the fights now where people start to see, who's Carl Fale? Okay, now you're going to just see who Carl Fale is.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember speaking to both of you right at the start of your career, and you guys said we wanted to kind of take over the sport.
Yeah.
So is that still the ambition?
Of course, it never changed. Look, I'm like, don't take my word for it, but I'm pretty sure the British Boxing Board have made this fight an eliminator for the British title. So now Carl wins this fight. He's on to the British title. I'm not looking over this kid, but if I can now fight for the Midlands title after and I can go for the English, we're now going to have the domestic scene on lock and we can start pushing on from there.
Yeah, I guess the message to Frank is then titles really, where it's your British, European, even pushing on.
Exactly, yeah. So like I said, this one's eliminated for the British. So Carl wins this, goes for the British. I can hopefully fight for this and go to the English, and then we can push on Commonwealth, European, and so on, as long as it all goes to plan and we keep working hard and focused and, you know, chasing that dream of being world champions.
If you two, in your opinion, when you two guys keep racking up those W's, is it a big advantage in the sport? Because I feel like it's an easier sell if two twins are doing really well. I mean, it's not a hard sell for Frank now.
Of course, especially being so good looking. Look, we're good in front of the camera, we're good fighters, I like to think we're good to watch as well. So look, we can have it all. We just got to keep working hard, keeping our head down, staying humble, and keep winning these fights. These are the important fights now. So we've done the journey, and we've done the process of building. We've done the learning fights. We've took away some negative and positive stuff over the years. And like you said, it is a bonus because I've had 9 fights, he's had 10 fights, but we've done every camp with each other, and we've done all the lessons together. So every lesson I've learned and every lesson he's learned, we've done it together. Yeah. So like, instead of just having 9 fights, I feel like I've had now 19 because I've learned from his fights, he's learned from mine. So this is what it's about now, is these title fights and pushing on.
Right. Well, we are going to bring in a very special, and I say very special, not lightly guest in a moment, and I'm going to talk to him about, of course, what happened on the weekend. But I'll just quickly get your thoughts as well about what we witnessed. Alexander Usyk showing his greatness again. Yeah,
it's just what you said, isn't it? His greatness. He's that guy, isn't he? Alexander, he is that guy. He showed once again why he is probably the greatest in some opinions of all time. I think he really is, and he showed that.
Well, talking about greats, if you just take this mic, please. All right. Just bring him in the middle.
Jump in the middle.
Yeah. Got he's feeling you out there.
Yeah.
Well, look, we're just talking about Alexander Usyk there, talking about greats, and I'm not just saying this, I've said this to you before, Roy, I'm not saying this as bias, just as a personal thing. I think we are being joined now by the greatest fighter of all time, certainly in your pomp, in your prime.
Thank you, my brother.
I've just got to put that out there. You can't forget.
Thank you. They must have forgot.
Exactly. Roy, before we come back on, we were just talking about the weekend, before we come back on to what we saw on the weekend, look, you've got your boy Tony Curtis Lighting Jr. I've heard so much about him. I've seen a few of his fights in Dubai. Obviously turned pro so young out there. You signed with Queensbury and Frank Warren. Firstly, why that move? Why was Frank the right man, Roy?
Because he went to Frank when he was about 11 years old and told Frank that get his checkbook ready because he's coming, you know. Frank told him to go get his stuff together, and he went and got his stuff together. So Frank kept his word, and Tony kind of manifested that. And I think Frank is the best fit for him because Frank understands the struggle. Frank understands where he come from and where he's trying to go. Frank knows the family. Frank knows the brothers. Frank knows everything going on about him. So when you find a man like Frank who is a man of his word and who cares enough to know about the evolution of this kid, how can you ask for anybody else, you know?
And how is it training this young man?
So fun, man. So fun because You always teach them new things. It's like my mind, people don't understand. My mind is like an encyclopedia when it comes to boxing. And these kids, it's funny because he always laughs at me because I always got something new to teach him. You know what I mean? And having a person that can learn these things and can put them to use is a beautiful thing for me, because it's hard to find fighters who can actually absorb what I teach them and put it to use. This kid can do that.
Imagine having Roy Jones Jr. in a corner as a trainer, walking out. That's a frightening sight for the opposition. You already 1-0 up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Roy, how far can he go? Look, he's at the start of his career.
Yeah.
I'm sure Frank's going to build him slowly. Frank's known for, you know, if he really likes you and he's fond of you and he sees the talent, he'll guide you the right way.
Right.
How far, though, can he go one day?
Well, he'll guide me the right way, but you got to remember, with me being here, being who I am, I don't want you to take him too slow, because I need to put a sense of responsibility on his back. You understand me? So the quicker we can get him to some type of strap to make him feel responsible and let him know that now everybody pointing their fingers at you, we need to do that, because he's the kind of kid that if he doesn't feel threatened, he'll chill. You feel me? I don't want that. I want him to stay feeling threatened.
No comfort.
No, I don't want him to be comfortable. I mean, comfortable outside the ring of life, yeah, but in that ring, I want him to always feel threatened, because he's a much better fighter when he feels threatened.
If he dresses like he fights, we're in for a treat.
Oh yeah, without a question.
He's got the swagger and the confidence. He's going to be an easy sell, isn't he?
Gonna be a very easy sell, because he got everything. He got the swagger, he got the confidence. He got two or three brothers coming up behind him that's constantly pushing him too. So, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. That family is a beautiful family to be a part of, and their father would give his life for his kids, and that's why I train. That's why he got me involved with him, and I think it's a probably 4 people I'm gonna have that's gonna become world champions. But I think Tony gonna become a multi-divisional champion too. Just a matter of time.
Just on a general note, look, I've got a very talented fighter with me here. The Fell twins are very talented. There's a lot of very talented fighters here. Just as a general observation, you can say it to Ben personally here. If you had to give one rule of advice, one huge guideline to a fighter who's coming through the ranks, he's going to be on the cusp of a British title soon, hopefully. Yep. Maybe pushing on to European and then Worlds one day. What is that piece of advice, Roy?
Savor the moments. Always remember every moment. But also remember that boxing is not about who's the toughest, it's who's the smartest. Because at the end of the day, I'm 56 years old, but I'm still able to talk, thank God, and you can still understand what I'm saying. I can still deliver my message to you. And I fought since I was 10 years old. You understand me?
Yeah.
But not being hit a lot allows me to be able to sit here and communicate with both of you right now. You understand?
Of course.
So take boxing for what it's worth. Be smart about it, but don't let nobody make you do crazy things. Sparring when it's not necessary is not good, because every little lick to that brain takes its toll. You feel me?
Of course.
Would you have a question for Roy as a fighter coming through?
I've had about 1,000.
Go ahead, shoot.
Yeah, just like you being a coach to some up and coming fighters, the experience. What would be the in the gym the most experienced thing you could teach them?
The most experienced thing?
If it's not pads, bags, sparring, what would
the
be
most experienced thing really is footwork. Footwork is a lost art in boxing right now. You understand me? Footwork determines a lot of different things.
Yeah.
If you can get your guy in trouble physically with your feet, you got it.
Yeah.
But if you can't move those feet, I always tell my guys, you got to remember, you got to treat yourself like a tank. A tank drives and it pivots. But the wheels don't pivot that much. It kind of drives, then the top pivots. But if you can make these keep you in line, take where you got to go, and this up part can be a pivot, now you got something. You like a tank. That's why I was so dangerous. Explosive.
Yeah.
Roy, it wouldn't be right with me to, before we let you go, and I appreciate your time, about the weekend. And I've got an interesting question for you, actually. When you boxed John Ruiz, if that was Alexander Usyk in the opposite corner that night, how would have a Roy Jones v Alexander Usyk fight heavyweight gone? So
Alexander Usyk is a southpaw, which would be much more difficult to deal with. But what you got to remember is there are certain things you got to take away from Alexander Usyk right away. If you don't take those things away from him, you're not going to beat him. So it's like, he's not an easy sell for anybody to beat, period. But for me, it wouldn't have been easy, but I'm faster than him. So I would use my speed to my advantage to make sure I took advantage of it and didn't let him hit me. Because now I think he took the advice I put out there about him one time, and he's become a little bit more explosive as a puncher. You understand me?
Yep.
So now he's taking these guys out with one shot. That's the only thing he was lacking as a cruiserweight. Now he becomes a real legitimate heavyweight problem because he is explosive. So he's faster than most of these guys. He has a very, very high IQ, and now he's even punching with explosive power. He's a very hard sell right now. With me, I would have been smarter. I was faster. I wouldn't given him nothing in the early rounds. But late, I would have started pushing the pressure. I would have made him back up, not let him back me up. And it would have probably been a different outcome. But he's also a Capricorn, so he's smart just like I am.
What a fight that would have been. The WBO have called him to fight Joseph Parker. We don't know if that's going to be next. Usyk might vacate and go elsewhere with a Fury trilogy, etc. If it is Joseph Parker, what problems and questions can he pose that others haven't, or can he not?
It's funny you say that, because a guy just asked me not long ago who I think would be best or to have the best opportunity to give Usyk a fight. The best guy right now is Joseph Parker. Why? Because he's not a big heavyweight. He's quick. He throws combinations. He has a great trainer with him now, in Andy Lee, and he's more comfortable than I've ever seen him in his whole career. And so I think that is actually a very good fight for both fighters, and this is the very best time for it, because Joseph Parker is on the uprise right now.
Listen, we might well see Alexander Usyk v Joseph Parker next. Roy, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, my brother. Always good to see you.
And you, my man.
Thank you.
All right. I am now going to throw to Thomas Schreiber to commence the press conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final press conference for Peer Pressure, a great night of championship boxing this Saturday at the Bournemouth International Center. It has all been with Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, along with their great sponsors, Riyadh Season, 32 Red, Unibet, That Prize Guy, and Global Next Trade. A big thanks to those great sponsors. Well, a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, this great event will be shown live worldwide on DAZN. Let's now welcome the participants already seated. First, from Slough, Hassan Shooter Ashek. From London, Tony Lightning Curtis Jr. From Coventry, West Midlands, Amir Abu Baker. From Northampton, Carl, the Chosen One, Fail. From Lewisham, Southeast London, Ellis Zorro. From London, Alois the Animal Jr. And ladies and gentlemen, we are very honored to have with us here today one of the greatest fighters of all time, none other than the legendary Hall of Famer, Roy Jones Jr. And now we hand things over to your host, Mr. DAZN.
Thank you, Thomas Schreiber. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bournemouth for the final press conference ahead of a cracking night of championship boxing this Saturday. And the main event is very simply one of the most violent fights that you can make in the super featherweight division in this country. The unbeaten European champion Ryan the Piranha Garner is back stalking the shores of Bournemouth. He wants to add British and Commonwealth titles to his collection. But to get them, he's going to have to swim in the deepest waters that he's ever been in. Waiting for him in those waters is Reece Bellotti with dynamite in his fists. It's the latest in a growing catalogue of brilliant Queensberry versus Matchroom specials. And whilst Ryan Garner has bludgeoned his way to 17 fights without any defeats, Reece Bellotti has boxed at a higher level, is in the form of his life, and has a habit of taking unbeaten records. So the question heading into Saturday is very simply, is it feeding time for the Piranha, or will the Bomber blow him out of the water? Find out all the answers Saturday night live and exclusive on the global home of boxing DAZN from the sold-out Bournemouth International Centre. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Garner versus Bellotti. This is peer pressure. And as you can see from this table, from everyone that Thomas Triber just introduced, there's so much going on. There's Queensbury debuts, there's professional debuts. I'm going to start with a young man, Hassan Ishak, who is making his professional debut. Now, Hassan, I speak to your coach, H, he's your coach and your manager. I speak to him all the time. And every time I see him, he tells me, Dev, I've got one. I've got something special. Are you that special kid? Talk to us.
100%, man. I'm excited to be here, you know. As an amateur, this is what you train for. This is what you dream of. Turn pro. I'm here with Queensbury, so I want to thank Frank Warren, Queensbury Promotion for this opportunity. And come Saturday, you're going to see what I'm about.
I saw you had like a launch event as well. It looked like Hamza Shiraz was there, Adam Azim was there. You were getting messages from Anthony Joshua and all sorts. It feels like you got a lot of backing heading into Saturday, my friend.
Yeah, a lot of support, man. We've got a big crowd coming down. I can't wait to showcase my skills in front of them. Hopefully get some new fans as well.
So why is now the right time to turn pro?
You know, it is. As an amateur, I always had a pro style. People were telling me to turn pro when I was 18. But I just waited that out a bit, you know, build some man strength, and now I'm ready.
I've watched a few videos of you. I can see all sorts of things. I can see you doing that Mayweather defence. I can see you just knocking people out and they're going to sleep. What can we expect? And what would you say that your fighting style is like?
I feel like me as a fighter, I'm an all-round fighter. I can do it all. I'm explosive. I can box slick. I can block it.
The very best of luck on your pro debut.
Thank you, Dev.
OK, let's move on to a young man making his Queensbury debut, which is Tony Curtis. But before I speak to him, let's speak to the man sat next to him, so wonderfully introduced by Thomas Triber here, simply one of the greatest fighters of all time. Roy Jones Jr., you will be coaching Tony Curtis. How did this union come about? Tell us, how have we ended up with Roy Jones right here in Bournemouth talking about Tony Curtis?
It's crazy how God works, but you never know what God has in store for you. So you always keep your eyes and your ears open, and good things come along. I was in Dubai, went into a boxing gym, saw a kid working out who looked like he had a lot of talent, a lot of promise to him. As I was in there, he asked me how to throw the left hook, so I showed him. He picked it up right away. I was like, okay, some grown people can't do. So as I was leaving, he asked me my number. I gave him my number, and I thought that'd be the last time I heard from him. However, about a year later, 6 months later, I get a call from, hey, can I come train with you? I said, sure. So his dad sent him to me, and we've been going ever since.
And just how special is this young man? He's been a pro since he turned 16. I mean, he's been around a little while now. How special is he from what you've seen?
He's very special. He showed me things in the first fight he had in Mexico. I thought he won the fight. They didn't give it to him, but he showed me things in that fight that I don't see in a lot of grown men that I train. And that was that he has the will, the desire, and the heart to become a world champion. So as of now, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, I see him becoming a multi-weight division champion. It's just a matter of time.
Wow, I mean, this is incredible. I mean, it's great to have you in Bournemouth, great to have you with Tony. Tony, let me bring you in here. This is a big day for you. I can't believe you've already had so many fights at just 19 years old. Tell me what you're thinking sat there, big moment, you've got Roy Jones with you, hyping you up. Talk to us, Tony.
Well, look, it's a big thing. I can't put it into words. It's what I've dreamed about since I was a kid, you know. I've been here with Roy now for 3 years. We dreamed about this in Mexico, didn't we, Roy? Yep. That's what I can say about how I feel, to be honest.
You turned pro at 16 years old. This is not something that we see every day. Like, you sat there 19, you've already had 11 fights. Give us a little glimpse into that journey, why you decided to go that route rather than the amateur route. Tell us.
It's the same as Hassan just said over there. I had a pro style at a very young age. Roy said to me, there's no point going back to an amateur style, so we thought, we'll give it a go in Mexico.
And from what I've seen, Tony, you're there with the sunglasses on today. I've seen a few clips. Looks like you've got a bit of razzmatazz, a bit of showboating. I've seen you talk to your opponents as well. It looks like you have a bit of fun in there.
Well, yeah, you got to have fun. Do you know what I mean? You got to have fun what you do.
And what have you learnt from Roy Jones?
Oh, I've learnt everything. I'm like a sponge when I'm training with him. You've got to soak everything in, haven't you? Just like you said, the minute I see him, I went up to him and asked him about his left hook.
And I understand you met Frank when you was just a young nipper as well, and you told him get your chequebook ready. Tell us about that.
Well, I see Frank. I was a young kid, I had a lot of confidence, you know how it be. I just said to him, look, yeah, like you just said, get your checkbook ready. He told me get your bags packed. Frank, we're here, my bag's packed.
Good man. All right, best of luck to you. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Roy Jones, as well. Let's move on to a brilliant fight between two unbeaten fighters. Midlands area title on the line. British title eliminator Carl Fale and Amir Abubaker. Brilliant fight here. Carl, let me bring you in. You've wanted the step up for a little while. You've been out injured, but you're back now, and you're going straight in with a man who calls himself the Kurdish knockout king. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, Dev, I'm excited. You know, this is what I'm in boxing for. I've been boxing a long time now. I'm 20 years old, and yeah, I'm in boxing for these titles. I can't look past this fight. It's a big fight. It's a big domestic fight, and like you said, it's a British title eliminator. But for me, my sole focus is on Saturday night.
Dangerous fight as well, though. I don't know if you've seen much of Amir Abubaker. I have. I've been watching a few videos, and he seems to really carry a punch.
I mean, every fight's dangerous. It's how you deal with it. I'm not really focusing on him. I'm focusing on myself and how I box and how I conduct myself.
How do you get the job done then? What's the difference? Why are you going to be the Midlands area champion Saturday?
I'm just going to do what I do best. I'm going to go out there, going to adapt every round and come out with a victory, whatever way, whether that's points or whether it's inside the distance.
Well, let's get your opponent's view on all of this. Amir Abubaker, nice to see you. And you too have been waiting for an opportunity to grab. This is it. This is a great platform, great show to be on, and a brilliant unbeaten opponent. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, thanks for having me, first of all. And, you know, even though we had 3 weeks' notice for this fight, I was more than happy to take it. You know, we signed a contract straight away. And respect to Carl as well. You know, I respect every British fighter. This is a hard game, real hard game. I have nothing personally against him. And I'm sure after the great performance we put on Saturday, we're going to shake each other's hand and walk away. And I'm going to do this, the same thing I do every fight. You know, I'll do my work, I'll leave it in God's hands. And, yeah, I look forward to Saturday night. You're going to see probably the best fight of the night, in my opinion.
You've got one common opponent from what I saw, which is Serge Ambomo. Carl, you went the distance with Serge Ambomo. Listen, he's a tough guy. Takes many fighters the distance. But, Amir, you were able to actually stop him and really do a number on him. Is that kind of a bit of a difference here? Is your power a differential heading into Saturday, Amir?
Yeah, everyone talks about my power, so then I started calling myself the Kurdish knockout king. But what I've realised in boxing, like when you don't actually look for the knockout, you get the knockout. So yeah, I'm not going to go looking or hunting or anything like that. And the knockout is the same thing that happened with Serge. I wasn't looking for the knockout. When I was boxing him, you know, I started piecing him up, and the knockout just came, you know. Opportunity presented itself, and I landed a clean uppercut. And yeah, I've dropped many people, so, you know, Serge isn't a crazy standout to me, but yeah, he's a tough fighter.
Do you feel like the knockout will come on Saturday?
Well, tune in, you'll find out.
Carl, you are a tremendous amateur, right? A couple of silver medals in the Europeans, and how much of a factor is all of that pedigree, all of that experience? Bit of a golden boy in the amateurs you were.
I try not to look too much into that. I feel like the amateurs. We're in the professional game now. But what I will say is, working down the Peacock gym, we work hard. We work really hard, and you're going to see the best Carl Fale Saturday night.
What's the kind of final prediction here? You're going to get it done within the distance?
A Carl Fale victory.
Okay. Amir, Carl, thank you very much. Brilliant fight, Midlands area title. Let's move on to this cracking crossroads fight. There's Junior, who seems to be knocking out any moves right now at cruiserweight, and Ellis Sorrow, who has competed at the highest level, wants to get back there with a big win on Saturday. And Alois, I'm going to start with you, because I've been following your Instagram, and I've seen you put up a couple of videos. There was an interview clip of Ellis Sorrow, followed by you putting out one of your knockouts and tagging him in. What's been going on Instagram?
Ellis Sorrow doesn't love his family, honestly. I don't understand why he's taking this fight, but he clearly wants to get knocked out, and I don't mind doing that to him. I don't mind making him sleep in front of the ring, in front of thousands of people, in front of a great Roy Jones, I don't mind doing that.
Well, let's hear from Ellis Sorrow. Let's get your response to that. He's made it very clear he plans on putting you to sleep on Saturday night. What says you, Ellis?
I think the family comment was he crossed the line there, and there'll be consequences for that outside of boxing after the 26th. But yeah, it's good to be back. I've been in the wilderness for a long time. I spoke to you outside Dev about that. I was 17-0, lost to Jai, sat down for 6 months. Got the Chev fight, unfortunately lost to Chev. I think that was a fight me and my team feel we should have won, but that's boxing. And then I ended up, I'm 17-2. Then I sat down for 13 months. No real reason why I sat down for 13 months. Everyone knows an inactive fighter isn't a good fighter. Then I had a comeback fight. Then 4 weeks ago, this fight was offered to me. And I'm not really in a place to be turning down fights, and that's not really who I am anyway. So yeah, here we are.
What do you think of your opponent? He's come out pretty strong in terms of the verbals today, but he comes out strong in fight night as well.
Yeah, the talking, he's young, you know. We're from the same part of London. I was like that when I was younger. But again, the family thing crossed the line, and yeah, it's unnecessary. And there's going to be consequences for that. But no, he's a good fighter. I respect him as a fighter. I rate him as a fighter. And yeah, Saturday night.
I don't understand this false persona, you know, because when I was watching on YouTube, he was, this guy got power. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know if you watch the video real back and slow it down, but you can really see what he thinks of me. This man fears me. And he knows he's dancing with death.
I just said he's got power. I said it in the interview. I said it right now. His knockout ratio proves that. So I don't know what false persona he's referring to.
Do you fear him?
Next question.
That's what he said.
Yeah, but he didn't ask me. You did. So I'm telling you next question.
We will move on to the next question.
He's just scared of the question. That's what it is.
Ellis, what are you making of these videos where you've been tagged in? Alois is putting out his knockouts, tagging you in. Are you replying to them? What's been going on there? I've seen them.
No, I told you I'm not replying to them. Alois is young. Do you know what I mean? We've all been young. He'll grow out of it. It's just part of it. It's not about confidence. It's not about. He's just young. He'll grow out of it. I've seen many of people like this, and like I said, I was myself like this, so I ain't tripping over this.
What are you talking about, bro? I've been in the Peacocks and I've asked you for countless of rounds. You're like, your nose is bleeding by Dorian. And you say, no, I don't want to spar. No, I don't want to spar. So you can always mention this young thing, but me and you both know what goes on.
Yeah. Next.
Okay, you both know what goes on. I'm waiting for you to reply to Alois. He's saying a lot of stuff.
He ain't got it. Just don't ask him. He ain't got it.
It's just going to be round and round, you know.
Don't blink.
It just has to be round and round, talking and talking. So we'll see.
How's this fight going to go then, Ellis? How are you going to get this done and stop the rise of Alois?
You know what? Obviously, we know Alois has got power. Obviously, recently I've been watching him more. I think we've been on a few cards as well. A lot of his opponents, and I'm not here to knock fighters because I don't knock fighters, but a lot of his opponents have kind of been there to be hit, you know. And he has a style that, you know, if he can tee off on you, he's going to, and he's going to look explosive. So yeah, for me, I can't be getting hit with no silly shots, and I've got to box smart.
Alois, tell Ellis how this fight's going to go on Saturday. Alois, final question for you. If you'd like to tell Ellis Sorrow, your opponent, how this fight will go on Saturday night, please. Well, that is a cracking cruiserweight fight on Saturday night. Ellis Sorrow, Alois Jr. Interesting verbals. Had a bit of everything there, including non-verbals. Let's move on to the main event. Brilliant fight. Reece Bellotti and Ryan the Piranha Garner. Ryan, I'm going to start with you. Headlining again at the Bournemouth International Centre, chomping at the bit, I'm sure, and for you, ready to add some new titles to your collection. Tell us how you're feeling.
Yeah, I'm feeling good, Dev. It's good to be headlining again, so close to home. It's a massive opportunity for me, fighting for the, obviously, British, Commonwealth and European title. It's all the marbles domestically, so obviously I've got to get through this one if I want to be a world champion. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to a good fight. It's an exciting fight. I know everyone's going to be in for a good fight.
And I described it at the start as one of the most violent fights that can be made in the super featherweight division. Are you seeing it like that? This feels like it has to be fireworks.
Listen, our styles will gel nicely, I think. Both our styles, we both like to have a little fight. But that's not the only thing I've got in my armoury, do you know what I mean? I don't believe I can box, I can fight. I believe I could do it all, mate, if I'm honest with you. But listen, I believe I'm going to win the fight, but I believe it'll be exciting in there at times. And I'm sure everyone is going to be tuning in at home, everyone is going to be in attendance. It's going to be in for a good fight. So just make sure you're there.
And in terms of Reece Bellotti, I mean, he's been around a little bit longer than you. I've heard you say that when you were coming up, he's a fighter that you'd watch. But how does it feel now to be looking across and be fighting him on Saturday?
Yeah, like you say, I remember when I was younger, he was fighting on his Sky Sports bills, and I was watching him fight. Very, very good fighter. Do you know what I mean? The hardest fight of my career. Listen, he's been in there with some great names. He's beat a lot of good fighters, and he's the reigning and defending British and Commonwealth champion, mate. So he's got my utmost respect, and I believe it's going to be an exciting fight. And it's one that I'm well up for, and yeah, I believe I'm going to be British, Commonwealth and European champion come Saturday night.
Well, let's speak to Reece Bellotti, who I'm sure has very different ideas. And Reece, I guess you're here in Bournemouth to spoil the party and leave with Ryan Garner's belts as well. Tell us what's going on.
No, like I say, I'm just happy to be here. It's a great event, and it's a title that I've always wanted to have, and it's the next step for me, and it's the fight I'm looking forward to. It's going to be one of my hardest of my career. We're under no illusion. Like I say, me and Garner have got a lot of respect for each other as fighters, and you don't always have to be bad-talking each other to make it an exciting fight. Like I say, our styles are going to gel well, and it's going to be a good fight.
You've had experience at the top level, been in with some brilliant fighters. How do you make that count on Saturday?
Like you say, that's something that you kind of adapt and learn in the ring at the same time. Obviously, certain experiences will come to show on the night, and I'm lucky to have them.
This is also a Queensberry versus Matchroom fight. From your side, has Eddie given you any kind of G-up, any kind of message? I mean, he needs a win. I think it looked like Justice Hooley was going to get that, but Wardley saw to that. Are you the man to get him a win?
Absolutely, yeah, I believe so. Listen, I want to win the fight more for myself than I do Matchroom, but it's just an added bonus for Eddie. But I'm here for the win.
Has he been in touch, giving you a little G-up?
He hasn't actually, no. No, actually, no, saying that I'm saying a lie. He asked how I was yesterday.
Well, that's good to know. Ryan Garner, I mean, you're very much, I think you're one of Queensberry's longest serving fighters at the moment on the current roster. So I know Frank has backed you through thick and thin. It must be an extra kind of incentive to get the win for Frank against Matchroom on Saturday, Ryan.
Yeah, like you say, I've been with Frank since I turned pro at 18 now. It's been a little while. It's been a long road, but we slowly got her in the end. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully I'm starting to pay him back for all the grey hairs I might have given him over the years. But yeah, we're getting there, mate, and I'm lucky to have Frank, really. Frank's backed me from the start when I started making the mistakes in my career, and then thankfully, look, he's putting on shows for me down here so close to home, and hopefully I can repay him, mate, and then hopefully we get one step closer to St Mary's.
Your opponent's got a lot of experience, a lot of power. I think at one point Eddie Hearn was indeed hyping him up as one of the pound-for-pound biggest punchers in the sport. How do you deal with that?
Like you say, he's a very, very good fighter. Reece is, I'm under no illusion. But I just believe, obviously, the best Ryan Garner, if he turns up on the night, he beats most people, mate. So, yeah, we'll just see what happens on the night. But I'm confident. I'm sure Reece is as well. But, yeah, it's going to be a good night, mate. It's going to be a very good night.
Reece, how do you get this done on Saturday?
Well, without giving away game plans, it's just be Reece Bellotti on the night. Like I say, we're both saying similar things. I think if I turn up, the best me beats the best Garner, and that's the way it's going to be.
Okay, I think you're both very confident. You've both been perfectly gentlemanly in the build-up as well. So before we do face-offs, can we all just face our photographer Lee, who's going to take a big group photo he's requested at the start. So Lee, get the camera ready, and then we'll do some face-offs very shortly. So let's all smile at Lee. There you go. I told you I'd get you. Okay, that is our fight card on Saturday night, live around the world on the global home of boxing, DAZN. All tune in for Peer Pressure. Let's get some face-offs. Thank you very much.
Well, listen, the press conference has just wrapped up. I guess the most sort of obvious point to start with is Alois and Ellis. I guess Alois there proving at the end that silence is more powerful of an answer. It was a weird press conference between them two. I can't lie.
Depends how you take it, doesn't it? Because you can either say that or you can say Ellis shut him up. So it depends how you take it. But look, I don't know how to take that. I don't know how to take them words, but it's firing the fight up for a good night of boxing.
Yeah, it seemed a bit tense, a bit awkward, yeah. But as we said at the start, there's so much at stake here for the pair of them. I mean, if Ellis does lose this, he's in a really tricky place then. And the same with Alois, like that sets him back massively. We're talking about him as one of the best prospects in boxing, full stop. He can't afford a loss to Ellis Oro.
No, but look, they're both top fighters, so you can't take too much credit away from either fighter.
Welcome.
You know what I mean?
Competing in a 4-round
bantamweight talk over these face-offs as they happen.
From Slough, England, making his pro debut, Hassan Shooter Ishaq.
So yeah, Shooter's making his debut. Hassan Ishaq. I've heard a lot of good things about him. He's with H, obviously he's part of the Adam Booth camp, and yeah, I've heard a lot of things about him as an amateur, what we expect of him as a professional. So I mean, Frank's the man to guide these sort of prospects forward.
Of course, yeah, Frank is the man. Frank knows how to guide someone from the start of their career all the way to the very top. So starting your career with Frank, in my opinion, is the best move.
And there's another young man there, Tony Curtis Lightning Jr., of course, under the tutelage of Roy Jones Jr., as we mentioned at the start. Again, he's in really good hands there with Roy, obviously with Frank Warren. And then we said he looks the part, doesn't he? He looks like a fighter.
Yeah, let's welcome from Northampton, England.
There we go.
With 10 wins, 3-9 knockout. Competing in a championship contest for the Midlands.
Tell us a little bit about the opponent that Cole's got in front of him. Tell us a little bit about the opponent that Cole's got in front of him.
Look, we don't know too much about him, but what we do know is he's from Coventry. He holds a bit of a bang, but look, it's nothing Kyle hasn't seen before. You've got to remember, Cole's been in with everyone, every style, and strong.
And now from Coventry,
it's not about who they are, it's about how Cole turns up and what he does.
Amir!
Like he said, there's a lot of respect between them.
Abu Baker!
But yeah, Cole's here to do a job, and Saturday he's going to do that job.
Well, they're squaring off now. Considerable size difference there.
Yeah.
But I guess there always is with you two guys.
Yeah.
How do you guys make the weight, honestly?
You're just fairly easily.
Yeah?
It's discipline. It's disciplined. It's being a athlete all year round, and yeah, look, Kyle is massive, and he's going to be big and strong on Saturday night.
I guess for Abu Bakr, this is his big opportunity, the golden ticket.
Of
Do you know
course,
what I mean?
yeah. Look, you're coming from small shows to these shows is like he's probably thinking, oh, that's the golden ticket. But at the same time, these are massive opportunities for me and Carl as well. So
Southeast London.
It works both ways.
7 wins by knockout. Elizoro.
Right, here we go. British, all British cruiserweight clash here between Alois Jr. and Elizoro. This should be a fantastic fight. And we're really going to find out a lot about both men, I think, on Saturday night and where they're exactly at. Let's have a look at what happens during this face-off, because the press conference was pretty awkward. Here we go. Alois keeps his shades on.
Both looking like they mean business.
Yeah. It was intense. Okay. Both mean business there, clearly.
Mm-hmm. You can feel the confidence oozing out of Alois.
For sure, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, our main event this Saturday, it is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the EBU European, British, and Commonwealth Super Featherweight Championships. Let's now welcome the fighters first from Watford, England. His professional record, 20 wins, 5 defeats, 15 of his 20 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending British and Commonwealth Super Featherweight Champion, Reece the Bomber Bellotti. And we now welcome from Southampton, England, undefeated with 17 wins, 8 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the current WBC International Champion, and this Saturday, the reigning and defending EBU European Super Featherweight Champion, Ryan the Piranha Garner.
Okay, we're going to see these guys square off now. Main event, really good fight, this Garner and Bellotti. Bellotti obviously with the experience, big puncher, coming here for Matchroom to upset the apple cart. Ryan Garner obviously home favourite here and is looking for a St Mary's dream. Southampton Stadium is on the cards next, Frank Warren has said, and it could be for a world title. Here they go, they square off. Pretty similar dimensions. Reece is a little bit taller and a little bit more size on him. Lots at stake here on Saturday night. This is the main event live on DAZN. It should be a banging fight. 2 Brits.
All smiles here from both of them.
All smiles. It wasn't all smiles with the man who's next to me, and he's one of the best prospects in world boxing, Alois Jr. And this is quite interesting because we've got someone from the Elizoro camp here in Mr. Fail. So, Alois, just get a reaction to that press conference. It was a bit tense and awkward at times. Just talk to me about it. What happened?
Awkward? I don't follow. What do you mean awkward?
It just didn't flow between you and Ellis. You had a bit of chat, then it stopped, it paused. That's why the awkward dimension was there.
What you don't understand is it's control. I just controlled the press conference. His fellow may think that he shut me up apparently, but they don't understand power dynamics, do they?
To be fair, you did say that. I said, look, the silence was powerful at the end. You said, look, Ellis might
take it both ways. Look, you can either say Ellis shut you up from what he replied, or he stayed quiet. So it depends how you take it.
Someone needs to read.
Okay. What do you make of Elizoro as a fighter, Alois?
He's okay, but he doesn't do nothing that I can't handle. I'm the best fighter he's ever been with, and I'm going to showcase
Better than dry up a tyre.
I said what I said.
There you go. Would this be a better win than David Jameson or not?
Every performance is a better win.
Well, I saw different levels in you in that David Jameson fight. You picked your punches so well, and I discussed that with Lee Wiley and Ben Davison before the fight. You said you're going to see a different Alois Jr. How much have you actually increased in levels between then and now?
Wait and see.
What is your prediction, Alois?
Come on, that's not even a question.
What is it, first round? Is it fourth round?
Whenever I catch him. I don't rush my work, masterpieces take time. It could be the first, could be the second, third. I don't rush my work. So if it comes, it comes.
What can Ellis provide to Alois?
In what sense?
Defense.
Yeah, of course. He can come with a good defence, and defence leads to offence. But look, like I said, Alois is a very dangerous fighter. Ellis has to use his defence in the right way to try to box and stay away from him.
Sun Tzu says the best. Yeah, correct. The best defense is offense. So if he's going to come in defensive, he's going to die.
Okay, that is strong words there. Do you want to do as good a job as Jai Opetaia did?
I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm not.
But you're shooting for the stars. Jai
Of course,
Opetaia
I'm shooting for the stars, yes, but I'm not competing with nobody. It's not Alois Jr. versus Opetaia. It's not Alois Jr. versus anyone else. It's Alois Jr. versus Elisora, and I'm going to execute it on my terms.
How far are you away from the likes? Look, there's obviously steps you've got to take, but I'm talking
One
about
fight at a time.
Zerdos and those guys. I saw you put something about Jake Paul in your story the other day. What was that all about?
Apparently he's in fucking top pardon my language. He's in top 15. That's absolutely ridiculous. Like, how the hell is a YouTuber disgracing my my division? That doesn't even make sense in my head. So, bruv, if you want to come here, come, call me.
Okay, well, it looks like you might be fighting Anthony Joshua next, but that's a separate conversation. Alois, listen, I'll let you go. Thank you very much. Good luck this Saturday night. It's always exciting when you get in the ring, and I'm sure it'll be no different. All right, man? We'll let you go. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, well listen, that wraps up today's press conference. As I said to Alois, it was a bit tense and awkward up there. That should be a brilliant fight with Elisoro. And of course the main event, all the eyes will be on Ryan Garner v Reece Bellotti this Saturday night, live on DAZN. Tune in. Thank you very much.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy.
With Shell V-Power, the only fuel used, trusted and recommended by Scuderia Ferrari HP.
Electric.
I bet they bought the car with crypto.
Probably got a podcast about kale.
The Triogers! Jeffrey reckons they wear sandals. They're coming now, they're coming now.
There he is. Never seem nice.
You seem all right.
Skoda.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy.